Hello everyone, how's it going? So this is just a replay showing, I guess, carry Omniknight, and this is a little bit different than most of the replay commentaries I like to make because, well, I mean, it's still like I don't know. I feel like I want to like name each of these a certain kind of series, like some other Dota channels have been doing. I guess if I were to name this any series, it'd be like. If I was to name this type of replay commentary a particular series, what would I name it? Perhaps Underappreciated Heroes of Dota. So UAHOD for short, I guess if you're like an acronym. UAHOD. Yeah, UAHOD. That doesn't sound so bad. It's kind of a nice ring to it. Unappreciated Heroes. Wait, that's not right. Well, yeah, UHOD. Just that. UHOD. Unappreciated Heroes of Dota. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, why is it paused? I must have paused it. Let's unpause this. Crazy me. So this guy loaded first, then him, then him. Oh yeah, and then him, and then him, and then him, and then him. Oh yeah, and then him. Who's gonna load last? Oh, it's Paladin .01 loading last. How shameful. I'm just teasing. But anyways, here we go. So it's just an all pick. So really, how interesting can this possibly be? Let's uh, get this past this. Go up to like, I don't know, 4x speed or whatever. Warlock on Radiant. Slark on Radiant. And let's see, does somebody pick something else? Come on, come on, come on, people. I'm not getting any younger. Okay, we got Skywrath Mage and Dire. Okay, let's slow this down a little bit because we finally can see what people are buying and stuff. Let's take it off of direct camera. Ew. Come on, come on, come on. Free camera. There we go. Looks no courier yet for Dire. They do have 4 heroes out on the field. The 5th one has not been picked yet. And we're kind of slow on picking our own heroes on Radiant. Yeah. Omniknight's got his Quelling Blade. Ooh. And although he wanted a Ringer regen, apparently he decided he needed to sage his mask more. So he's got that, and he's heading on out with that. So pretty slim on the items. I mean, he still has some unspent gold. So we'll see if he decides to buy something in the secret shop or the side shop or not. But anyway, in the meantime, Warlock is sitting on random gold and hadn't bought the courier, so Slark goes ahead and does it. Yeah. Gotta love that Slark with the support roll. Oh yeah. He's got 2 packs of tangos and 5 iron branches. That's I just had a streak where I just kept doing this as I was muted, and I was like, oh, people don't let me go solo middle. I can't claim solo middle. I'm muted, so whatever. I'll just do whatever they want and just see how it goes. Yeah. Because people, they never get the courier. Or if they do, they're like the last person to get the courier and they don't even want to get it. So I just get it. And she starts close of haste. I'm not sure that's such an awesome start item start. But anyway, let's speed this up. This is kind of more of a for fun, but it is going to be somewhat educational for all the Dota 2 newbies out there at the same time. So, um, so like all my videos, they're all pretty much trying to be educational, but this one's one of my more for fun videos at the same time. And you know, it's normal skill level on replays, so take it all with a grain of salt, even if you think it's not all that educational. You might be surprised, or whatever. Okay, so right away we got a double damage from Undyne, just gonna give him quite an edge in this laning. But Omniknight's already got a last hit, although Undyne was able to deny one. Now he's got 2 last hits. So he's got this whole creep wave just coming right at him, and he's gonna be able to survive 2 of them coming right at him. So I think Omniknight was blocking the lane, make the creeps die pretty fast, and he was still able to get 2 last hits, so not bad. Well, my dog's barking. I hope you can't hear that, but I suppose you probably can. But whatever. I was gonna go ahead and he's already got 2 stacks. You gonna stack again? No. Okay. It's just the 2 camps. He's gonna pull them and kill them. That's cool. That's fine. If you do any more than 2, you're probably not gonna be able to kill enough of them, which is fine if you're just trying to kill off the creeps. But in this case, he wants that experience. He's level 2, but that's not enough. He's gonna level up some more. Now, Spectre is left to solo Undying in these creeps. And she's gonna get smacked, but she's got her dispersion, which is what you really want on the first level, because it makes sure you don't die. Because it's basically like it's like backtrack basically. It's going to improve your survivability even at low levels. It's good. It's like blur. Yeah, it's good. She's not really a hero that can easily escape without her dagger. And actually nowadays, maybe now that they fixed her dagger, it is a bit more viable to start dagger first. But a lot of the times, maybe it's better if you just get this skill first. We'll see how it goes. I'll be starting to play her a lot more. But in the meantime, I'm picking up a rune. I was joined at top by Warlock, and I think I tried telling him with the chat, we'll get back, that, you know, this is my lane, dude. You know, go somewhere else. I'm soloing this lane. But he wouldn't listen. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just let you solo. I'll go see what's going on in the jungle or something, or whatever. So here I am, wandering around, and I see an agenda, so I'm like, ooh, maybe I can get a kill on her. But she's stolen a creep, and it's following her, and I missed my pounce, so it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Of course, I'm only level 2, and she's like level 3, so there's that too. And then thankfully Skywrath Mage is not headed for me. If he was, I could be in a really prickly situation with Shadow Shaman right behind Enchantress. At any rate, I decided to go this way. I'm able to avoid the towers entirely, but I do walk right past in Skywrath, and he doesn't want to let me go. So he starts throwing his spells at me, but I jump into the river and I'm okay. And they're still chasing me down to the ramp, and then he chases me all the way to our ramp, and then decides it's not worth his time to keep chasing. So they both turn around. But in the meantime, Nyx is able to free farm, so I'm sure he enjoys that. But although he only has 5 last hits, so he's really losing his lane. So I really feel like I wish I was solo middle, because I probably would be making a lot more out of this. But to be fair, he's probably just trying to make sure that this guy doesn't spam those spells on him. And actually right now is like the perfect opportunity for him to catch up on last hits, because Skywrath throwing his spells at me is just about out of mana. There, now he's only got 20 mana after casting a spell on Nyx. Nyx is using his 3rd spell really well, actually, to avoid being damaged. So, perhaps that, coupled along with kind of staying back, has really kept him at like full health and mana like this whole time. So he apparently kind of knows what he's doing. He's collecting experience, making sure he's getting to his level 6 early, and he'll probably just start trying to make some kills after that. But I just feel like maybe he could be trying a bit harder to make last hits, and maybe if instead of buying a Null Talisman, he'd invested in some Tangos, maybe in a Ring of Regen, then he could be taking lots more last hits and be having a really good gold income right now. Let's look at the gold per minute. He's only 167, so actually he's trailing behind Omniknight. But he's Omniknight's, man, what is he even doing? I'm not sure. How do you explain this? Omniknight has way more last hits than him. Plus he has jungle creeps. So how do they have the same gold per minute? Omniknight must have died, right? I think someone killed him. No. Huh. Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe Spectre stole some kills from him. Or he let some of those jungle creeps were just small creeps, and maybe the lane creeps got the at the last hit on the big ones. Yeah, because the small jungle creeps are not worth much. That must be what it is. He must have missed some of the big jungle creeps. Uh-oh! And Diane killed Spectre. And he's trying to kill Omniknight, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Omniknight says no, and he kills him instead. And he also says, there's no eluding judgment. Well, that's the direct translation anyway. So, Slark goes ahead and joins back up with Warlock, deciding that it's probably best, because bottom pretty much has his lane covered. He doesn't seem to need help. And right now Slark has 12 last hits, so he's not really all that far behind everyone. A lot of people from Omniknight to Slark, it's pretty even. Only Enchantress and Undying are really high in gold per minute, and then Warlock is really low. And I was actually probably noticing that and thinking, well, maybe I better go and pick up some gold if he's not going to pick up some. So yeah. Basically trying to support me instead of trying to be the carry. So if I'd left him alone, trusting him to carry, I would have been sorely disappointed. So I went back to the lane because I realized it just wasn't working out. So it's a good thing that I noticed it quickly. Otherwise, I might have just left him there and he would have started feeding or something, and that would have been really bad. But unfortunately, Spectre starts feeding, and but it's okay. Omniknight still manages to get a kill. Yeah, Undying is getting pretty fat. He's the highest gold per minute in the game right now. The gold per minute doesn't tell all. It doesn't tell net worth. So Omniknight's still doing great there because he hasn't died yet. So he's not too far behind Undying at all. Although Enchantress just pulled ahead of him with her jungling, although she has a hand of Midas, that I'm sure has something to do with it. She's going to continue to climb in net worth, I'd imagine, and continue to be a problem throughout the game. Particularly since I haven't been able to kill her, and Warlock hasn't used his level advantage. Not that he has much of one to go try to kill her. I feel like maybe he's been denied too much. Perhaps standing out of experience range, being too passive while being denied. At any rate, here comes Skywrath and Mage out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's scary. Or maybe it wasn't necessarily out of nowhere, but at any rate, I do escape, but it doesn't look like Warlock's going to be able to. He gets shackled, and what can a Slark do? I'm not Sand King, I can't just jump into all of them and stun them. But oh, here come a couple of allies out of nowhere, seemingly. Spectre using her ultimate, and this guy just following Skywrath, apparently, just a little bit late on the follow-through, but getting there eventually, and taking out Troll, at least. So, a 1-for-1. Not particularly going in our favor, but not bad either, because we did take out their Troll Warlord, and he's always a hero that you would definitely want to keep down. So, take what we can get, and we can carry on with the game. At the moment, nobody's at middle, and whoa, what's going on over here? Undying and Omniknight are duking it out hardcore. Seriously, he's in his ultimate form, and he's like level 10. Look at this. These guys are probably like the highest experience in the game right now per minute. Yeah, they are 613. Wow, it's dropping just as we speak. And he's almost 500. So these guys are really like, it's like Battle of the Titans over here. He's almost got a hood, and he's actually saving up his gold. I'm not sure what he's gonna buy, but he's right now just Orb of Venom and Soul Ring is just suiting him fine and just treating him all right. I'm probably talking a little bit too fast. I should probably try to calm down. Anyway, as you can see, they jump on Spectre. They can't really get the kill on her though. Warlock backs her up. So apparently Spectre has realized that bottom lane is not for her, and has gone up to top. And accordingly, Slark has taken over where Spectre was lacking. So now he's at bottom, and he's got quite a bit of gold saved up, but hasn't found time to spend it yet, apparently. And his strength has been reduced just once by decay, and he's probably going to try to play a little bit cautiously, try to wear out that decay duration. But no, maybe not. He's really close, and he's going to pounce that guy and run away in hopes that Omniknight can finish him off. But unfortunately, Undying kills him before he can make good his escape. However, the kill is definitely secured as Nyx comes along as well. At any rate, that guy had maxed Soul Rip, so it was doing as much damage as it was going to do considering all those units were around. I'm not sure if that was the absolute maximum damage, probably not, but it was still a lot of damage, and I think that really took me by surprise, and not realizing that he had 4 levels of Soul Rip. And that's something you should never underestimate, is communication with the allies. If Omniknight had perhaps realized that he had multiple points in the Soul Rip, you know, even over 2 points in it, that could have made the difference in keeping me alive. I could have sold an Iron Branch and grabbed some kind of regeneration, or even just some extra health through gauntlets or whatever. But I didn't, and I ended up dying. So I get a pretty nice pickup kill with the Nyx on Skywrath, and right now the ganking is just all over the place, and we're still behind on experience per minute though. They've really taken fantastic lead, and I think a lot of it has to do with her doing really well. This guy's solo, and this guy's solo. I mean, she's basically solo, and they're just a dual lane here, but we've had 2 dual lanes. We haven't really had a jungler, and this is what a lot of jungler guys really like. The thing is we're actually starting to get more kills than them, and if this keeps up, we're gonna have way more kills than them, and they're just gonna start really faltering. And the reason being because their jungler's just sitting back while their allies keep getting ganked. And while it's great to have a jungler, you kind of need to make sure you have enough mobility, or you make sure you're fighting nearby the jungler so the jungler has time to react. If the jungler's not mobile like Nature Prophet, then try to direct the fights around to where she's jungling. So she should be like over here while a fight breaks out here, then she can come over and help out. Or she should be like over here when a fight breaks out over here, so she can go and help out. So definitely you gotta learn to cooperate with the jungler, and vice versa, the jungler needs to cooperate with you. Otherwise you're really asking for trouble. So she was in a lot of trouble and threw that dagger to the cliff, and then was able to walk over the cliff into the river, which is a great way to escape from a lot of people very angry with her and trying to get her killed, as she was participating in a couple of kills up here. Everyone was getting frustrated and losing their tower and trying to kill someone, and they just couldn't get her. So wise use of that first skill and being able to escape, I feel. And honestly, until you get your boots, I think this first skill as an escape is not particularly reliable. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me, any expert Spectre players, but I really feel like that is the case. And as such, it's much more reliable at level 1 to pick your dispersion if you're worried about survival. But if you do want to make a kill, you may very well be better off leveling up Desolate or Spectral Dagger, because those are what's going to do damage to the opponents for sure to help out to making a kill. But, I mean, that wasn't really her primary concern, I would imagine. At any rate, I do feel like it might very well be a mistake to put quite so many points into her Spectral Dagger early. Like, if she had more points in Desolate, she could have went toe-to-toe with people a little bit better. But, you know, with zombies hanging around, I don't know if you can really use Desolate against this Undying character. But it would still be kind of helpful against a lot of the other heroes, perhaps. Maybe not. I mean, Enchantress has her little summons that she enchants from the jungle, and then Troll Warlord and Shadow Demon are probably just, they're sticking too close to each other a lot of the time. Although right now they aren't necessarily doing so. It may just be because Troll is just being very cautious for whatever reason. But anyway, We do get a great kill on Shadow Shaman, and then we move in on Undying. It looks like he's about to bite the big one, but he's pulling away successfully, and he survives. So now he looks like he's well on his way to getting a pipe. He's finished his hood, and he's got a headdress waiting for him in his stash. It looks like he's going to just head back and pick that up instead of continuing to fight as he is. Oh. I'm gonna drink some more water.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm definitely gonna have to go get myself something to eat because I'm talking way too much. So anyway, I'll do it after I'm done with this commentary, of course. Boop boop boop, here comes Shadow Shaman. And Dragon Hawk, or I mean Skywrath Mage is already there, or Dragonis. And here comes Warlock. He's gonna try to help out, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to get there in time. Actually, I do know what's. Okay, whatever. He's like right there, right? And his ultimate has really long range, so you can just drop it on these creeps right now and then walk it over. But let's see what he does. So at any rate, the guy that paused it was apparently muted in Spectre, so he's just curious if Spectre gave an explanation on the Omniknight is. So he was annoyed with Spectre because he was being an annoying lane partner, and of course Spectre was dying, so it seems like Omniknight knew what he was doing and Spectre didn't. But at least Spectre knew enough to grab one point in her dispersion, so props for that. But beyond that, seems to be a little bit of a newbie. Anyway, one thing that a lot of players have trouble with is they just don't realize how Omniknight works. That is to say, he's not a hard support, and he needs gold, he needs experience. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Pretty much every hero really does, for the most part, but Omniknight even more so than people would normally think. And people just don't get that. And I think that was what Spectre was having trouble wrapping her mind around. And maybe she should have laned with Warlock from the beginning, so I could have laned with Omniknight from the beginning. Particularly since Omniknight's a good ally for Slark anyway. Sure, Warlock is, but not necessarily early. Kind of more so later on. They could definitely be in different lanes soloing for all that matter. They don't really make necessarily good lane partners. But Omniknight and Slark are awesome because you pounce the guy, and then it's like a pure purification nuke because there's nowhere to get away from the pounce, right? And then, yeah, then you follow through the Dark Pact and they're screwed. It's over for them. And that's just the beginning. I mean, there's just amazing tricks that they can pull off. It's awesome the way they work together, but we missed out on that opportunity. And yet we're still ahead in kills. So we must be doing something right. Now let's go ahead and look at the graphs. Experience turn. Whoa, it was really in their favor for a while, and then it just spiked up to us. Well, it wasn't too long. I think it was around when we started making kills. And then it was just kind of back and forth a little bit, and then it's been like heavily in our favor lately. So they're kind of scrambling and wasting a lot of time kind of like trying to protect their middle tower and just grouping up where they shouldn't. Like, it would be far better if instead of wasting time protecting a tower that's going to fall eventually, then maybe jungle together. Take out the whole jungle, maybe do some ancients together, even try for a Roshan if they think they can handle it. But don't group up and just stand around sharing a single creep wave. That's just a huge problem that I see a lot in public games. Players freak out. Oh no, they killed us all a few times, or once or twice, or whatever. Now we all have to freak out and hug Around middle as if it's so only middle, while the opponents are just like attributing just as many heroes as necessary to keep us feeling threatened. When you could be out looking for experience and gold instead of just sharing a creep wave every half minute between three or four or five guys, it's not very optimal when you're just wasting time that way. And I feel like that's what these guys did. It just basically cost them the game. And at this point, our Omniknight is 4-0, so he's really doing his job quite well up to this point. I think after this, or around this point, I might start getting annoyed with Omniknight somewhat. Because, yeah, he's not really helping me out, because I just died like right around here or so, when he definitely could have helped with one of his spells. But keep in mind, he hasn't died himself yet. So, being a 4-0, once you're dominating, the gold bounty that they get from killing you, it's worth quite a bit. So far, although he's not exactly doing his job of protecting me, he's protecting the team as a whole. So although I'm miscalculating exactly what his intentions are, that's not particularly my fault because he's not communicating with me. But that doesn't mean I can't be frustrated with him. I mean, it gives me all the reason to be frustrated with him. But it's not like I can really say anything to him because I'm muted. And it wouldn't even matter if I could, because he's just going to do what he's going to do. Now, if Spectre had not laned the way he did, if he'd gone with Warlock, and if I'd gone with Omniknight, things might have been different up to this point. But as it is, we still have a huge advantage in both categories. Look at the difference in Goldern, though. Like, almost right away, it went to their favor. And over to 2,000 a difference. But now it's gone to over 2,000 difference for us. It's been spiking, though, a bit. It went back down to only 1,000. And now it's, like, around 2,000 instead of over. But, yes, I mean, we've still got some difficulties. It's not necessarily one team's win or the other yet. And you're right, they just made a huge kill on the solo mid-hero, just not really paying much attention. He didn't have wards here in the jungle at all, actually, to be able to detect Enchantress jumping on him. And there were a lot of people besides her, so it's really completely outnumbered, and escape was pretty much impossible. So they go for a really huge push here, but I'm like hiding behind the tree and just between my nukes and warlocks, he just melts. And then I hurry to try to kill as many of these snakes as I can before they kill the tower, because there's still creeps here too. And so they're helping out as well, distracting the serpents or whatever. Now the serpents are attacking my hero. I'm incredibly low on health. Look at that. Down to 56 health. But it's okay, I'm going to regenerate it all back.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But imagine if this guy had gotten close enough to cast his soul upon me. That would have been really bad. A little bit slow on that stun there, but you know, he might not get the kill on her anyway because he attacks really slow, and she doesn't have any mana for him to burn. So although he's like maxed out his mana burn, it's not really doing anything because she already ran out of mana. There's one thing that people don't realize: you should not regenerate your mana when you're being killed by him. But I also don't necessarily want a huge mana pool because then you'll lose your mana faster. Or whatever. So I just kind of run away and get healed by Warlock, and then I decide, you know what, I'm going to fight back now. So I don't manage to pounce him exactly, Kind of some creeps are standing in the way. And unfortunately, a lot of them jumping me. I still managed to survive, thankfully. Warlock gets a double kill, which is pretty beautiful. So being brave, trusting your allies to get your back really pays off. Like, they nearly kill me, but they can't quite. And I go back and help the guy get a double kill. That's just beautiful. I just remember to do that. And now I'm figuring, you know, I'm basically full support. So why not make a Desolator? So that's exactly what I did. Sure, I'm not going to be able to kill Enchantress. I don't have any extra attack speed. But, so what? I'm not trying to kill people. Even if I just attack her once, at least that way I reduce her armor and someone else can finish her off. And now I make a move to grab an item that'll help me to take down Ancients reliably and get Critical Strike Crystallis. But the weird thing, what I think what I probably should have done is just start getting Mjolnirs. But instead I got another Crystallis, and then I started buying up Mjolnirs. But whatever. I was having extra chances to Critical Strike makes killing the Ancients quite fast, and so. But I certainly was quite deficient when it came to killing the Enchantress. Now this guy's got a Sanjinyastra, so he's actually being attacked pretty fast, sort of, not really, but he does have his movement speed slow aura, which is pretty cool. And her slow, it just decreases the attack speed, right? So he's going to be slowing her down while she's slowing him down. I think he can still catch her, basically, because he's moving fast. Particularly with that Yasha. And the Orb of Venom just adds more to the degen aura, more or less. Stacks with it like very well, so. One item that people will underestimate is Eye of Skadi, but it's incredibly expensive. I'm not sure if he's going to try to get that or not. From looking at his build, I mean, like he could get an ultimate orb, but what is he going to sell for it? I guess he'd sell his Quelling Blade, but then he'd have to like let some stuff sit in the stash, or he'd have to sell something else or something. Anyway, we're starting to do Roshan, but then realized we don't really have any minus armor, do we? Besides Desolator, and just Slark is not going to cut it. He needs like 1 or 2 more heroes. So maybe pick up a medallion, and that'd be enough. Slark is really not good against Roshan. So by this point, he's got a helmet Dominator, and she got the Scepter, which means she can attack from further away, which is pretty cool. And now she's got a Mask of Madness, which is pretty wild. So she'd be attacking really fast, but on the flip side, she's gonna run out of mana pretty fast too. So Spectre initiates, hurting her quite a bit. The Desolate. I jump on Skyrath Mage from seemingly out of nowhere and get hexed. And it's no big deal because it's like level 1 hex. And his channel is actually level 4. So then I shackle this guy around his own tombstone, which is kind of dangerous for me, but I do get healed by a couple of people, so I'm all good. Besides, unless somebody like her tried to attack me, I would have been fine, and she was actually creeping at this time, which seems to be a rather huge mistake. What's the point of farming all of that stuff if you're not going to fight? Apparently she wants to farm more. Yeah, she reminds me of that raunchy episode on YouTube. It's WRONCHI. what they do is they joke around about Dota, I guess. And in one of the videos, they're like, it's serious though. I mean, it's a joke, but it's still serious. Where this anti-mage is like, getting a lot of gold, and then he send his lane partner to go help out the opponents because, I mean, his allies, because they need help. But he's like, I'm just gonna stay here because I want to farm more. That's how it feels like the Enchantress, what she's doing. She's just wanting to farm more, not really helping out her team at this point. And that seems kind of selfish to me. And as I've explained in other videos, selfish Dota is not successful Dota. So keep that in mind. And right now her team is, look at the experience per minute. We've really jumped ahead. They were like in the lead for quite a while, and then we jumped up it, and then we've been in the lead ever since. And then in gold run, wow, it's just really skyrocketed in our favor. So despite the fact that I'm like basically hardcore supporting right now, we're crushing them. Our Spectre gets that kill, even though she just uses her ultimate. And it's because of the way my build works. I'm Desolate. With her Desolate, it's a double Desolate, and her illusions have a Desolate. So that guy is screwed super hard. And I knew that this would happen. So it's all good for me. But I don't understand, how come she still has her ultimate? She doesn't have her refresher orb. And why does she have 2 quelling blades? I don't know, she must have been done like a ninja kill or something, because I thought for sure that was her ultimate, and I thought I heard it too. But apparently she's got it at the ready. Well, now she uses it, and bam, that guy's dead, and she's not. So this guy just chasing all by himself, and dies. Or maybe that guy died too. Yeah, they both were chasing by themselves. So it's almost like these guys are in 2 different teams from the rest of them. Or it's almost 3 different teams. Like, I don't know, 5 different teams maybe? But whatever the case, they're not working together well enough. And that's pretty sad to see. And another thing that's interesting is, although Mask of Madness is a great choice on Enchantress, if you really want to attack faster, why doesn't she consider that you have the Troll Warlord that basically gives you free Mask of Madness? You could be spending your gold on something else. Maybe to give you survivability, like I don't know. Against this lineup, maybe you should straight up get a Black King bar. Because all that magic damage from Warlock and Omniknight is really going to hurt. And even Slark, he won't be able to pounce you. So that way it's going to be much trickier for him to hit you with Dark Pact. Of course, he'll be immune to that as well. But that's beside the point. He also won't be able to keep you from running from the pounce. And that's the primary thing. Being able to run around is very good. So Slark with the Aegis goes down, and he laughs at the opponents, and yet he's going to die anyway without backup. Just because he's not bulky enough, and he's not able to cast his spells quickly enough.
No sorceries avail.
Yeah, I mean, he has almost no health items. He's got like +4 strength, and that's it. I don't know why it says +2. I guess he got decayed and stole someone's attributes. Wait, that doesn't make sense, does it? Well, yeah, it really doesn't make sense to me, but anyway, he has +4 strength, not +2. And he also has +4 intelligence, not +6. So I don't understand that. Huh. I think I might have found a bug. Weird. I guess I'll have to submit this replay at the development forums, because this is very peculiar. Why does it show +6? Oh, duh. +2 from the attributes. I'm such a moron. Sorry. He's got 1 level of attribute bonus, that's why the numbers were funky. That's where the +2 came from. My bad. So he was decayed, and so that was showing up in the value.
Regeneration.
Under the strength. But that didn't explain where the +2 was coming from. I understand now. Great. No, I won't have to post it on the forums after all. I'm not that stupid. I was able to figure it out. It just took me a while. Sometimes I'm retarded. Not all the time. Anyways, we can see, despite Spectre's really bad start, she's somehow pulled ahead of Omniknight for experience per minute. Let's see how we're doing on net worth, though. Oh, and she's actually pulled ahead of him on net worth as well. So she's basically been helping out a lot in team fights. Look at that, 15 assists, while he only has 3. And he's, after all this time of us dominating since I died right there, he hasn't had any kills. And you kind of know why? It's because I realized that he's a jerk and I haven't been playing with him. So despite how well he was doing early on, he's kind of transitioned into hard carry mode, yeah, and not really helping out his team at all, and just farming up, which is probably kind of inappropriate, but whatever. We're still dominating them, so how am I supposed to, you know, trash talk him and say he shouldn't be doing what he's doing? Because, I mean, he screwed up already, so there's not much point in me, you know, lecturing him about what he's doing now and just farming instead of helping, especially since Spectre is helping out just plenty. But what happens here? Oh, this guy gets initiated on really nastily, but he manages to escape. There's no true sight. There's no true sight. But she does have, somebody's got a Necronomicon, don't they? Oh, you know what? Maybe it's Nyx. Nyx is Necronomicon. See if anyone else does. Well, that's it. But the Helm of Dominator kind of looks like a Necronomicon sometimes. Especially if you were just clicking on the level 1 Necronomicon, then all of a sudden the Helm of the Dominator looks like a level 2 Necronomicon. Anyway, so Omniknight's finished his Radiance that he was like farming up for like forever. And Spectre's got her Radiance, so we got like double Radiance now all of a sudden. Because she got it through helping out with the team, and he got it just through sitting back and jungling or whatever. And now he's getting initiated on, but he's like, it's all good. I'll just repel and I'm fine. And she pops her ultimate, and everyone's like, ah! I'm melting! I'm melting! And, yeah. They feel the fear. Our entire team is pretty fearsome at this point. Particularly since I got a Crystallis, finally, and I got some money for another one in about a minute or so. Or I might just buy a Hyperstone or whatever, but we'll see. Whoa, here comes Omniknight. What is he doing? He's trying to initiate on this guy and kill him. Bam! He's dead. Sayonara, Troll Warlord. Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Then he comes in dying, and he's like, yeah, I decided to buy a mechanism instead of finishing my pipe because I'm a noob, and, or whatever. I don't get it. Why wouldn't you buy a pipe? It's so good against Warlock. But I guess he didn't care about his teammates. That's really idiotic. I mean, I know Mechanism is good, but Mechanism's kind of sucky against Warlock, to be honest, and like Magnus and those kinds of heroes. What's +2 armor when Slark's giving you -6 anyway? I mean, really, bro? An armor we trust? Seriously? More like our team in armor we trust. We have Guardian Angel on our team. So she keeps shooting her impetus at him, but it's not damaging him because he's magic immune. So Omniknight is totally wrecking any chance of her killing him. And I foolishly jump in. I'm not even sure what was going on. Like, was I lagging or what? Maybe I was thinking Omniknight had no business retreating just then, because he was repelled, for crying out loud. We could kill him. Or maybe I was trying to help someone else escape. But whatever the case, I ended up dying quite foolishly. And, whatever. Carry on with the game. At this point, Omniknight is still applying pressure at middle, while Nyx is, I don't know what he's up to. I guess he's buying stuff at the shop. I guess he's thinking about trying to sneak up on anybody that wants to try to push back the lane. But they're not going to do that unless one of his allies comes along to push the lane, I believe, and then retreats. So I think he's kind of wasting his time at this point. But actually, he does have his ultimate at level 3, so he could chill out a lot. If he waits, the duration and cooldown will match up at 50. So if he waits for his Vendetta to almost end before he breaks it, then he'll be able to go invis at his leisure, which is pretty nice. So it seems that's what he was doing, and while he was doing that, he decided he might as well shop. So although it was extremely unlikely that anyone would show up for him to attack, it gave him some breathing room for when he does start pushing the creep wave again. He could escape with invisibility right away. Now Slark picks up an invisibility rune. At this point, people are trolling me while there's a level 16 plus Nyx assassin screaming at me pretty much through text, chatting, abuse. Like, why not let Nyx have the invisibility? He's got a bottle, you moron! Or something like that. I mean, like, really, guys? You're gonna troll at me like that? I mean, I never talk like this in game. But I'm just, you know, right now I'm commentating and I'm trying to be annoying because I'm trying to explain how these people feel in the text chat and how these are the kinds of people that should be getting banned and not innocent people like me, but whatever. That's just my imagination, in other words. Like, people ban me because they're imagining I'm freaking out when really I'm not. But in actuality, I know these guys were freaking out because Slark can initiate well with his invisibility. Of course, I was the support, but I mean, I got Undying. The only reason Nyx died just there was because he was trying to kill steal me, and he failed miserably and died for it. That's not my fault, that's his fault. That's all him. I've been supporting Spectre and Omniknight all game long, and I'd be happy to support Nyx if he knew how to carry, but he doesn't. So I'm taking up the position as the third carry on the team. And as you can see, I've pulled ahead of him on net worth. And I'm not sorry for it. I'm not going to let myself stay behind in the support role forever. That's just silly. If people are going to start showing poor performance, then they start supporting. That's all there is to it. I had a poor performance this game, and it really wasn't my fault. It was due to many factors, one of which including I didn't get a solo lane, because Slark needs his experience. But, I mean, we had a lot of really experienced starved heroes, so not that really that big of a deal overall. But another thing, I just had gotten abandoned one time around the time Omniknight had 4 kills. So, now Omniknight only has 2 kills after, like, 20-25 minutes or so since then. So he really hasn't been contributing a whole lot. Only 1 more assist, and now yet another kill. So he is starting to... It's not like he's slacking off or anything. It's just that he hasn't necessarily been cooperating, and I've read that. But I'm still doing my part to support him. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to, you know, ignore the fact that Nyx sucks. Or I'm not sure if I said that right, but Nyx kind of failed hard at middle, and I'm not I'm gonna let him live that down basically throughout this game. So if I see that I can make good use of a rune, I'm going to grab it. And if he's got a bottle, so if he didn't want to lend it to me, that's his problem. I would have been happy to take the bottle from him and bottle that invisibility rune and use it, and then hand the bottle back to him. And then he'd have a recharged bottle. But either way, I'm definitely going to make better use of the invisibility rune than he is. No doubt about it. So I'm going to pick it up. If he doesn't hand me the bottle, that's on him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So anyways, Warlock is just rolling with his skills, and Omniknight is totally up in there, and even Spectre's like, I'ma attack you all, y'all gonna die, kinda, and yeah. If I'm sounding kind of annoyed, it's probably, annoying, it's probably just because my throat is really dry. I apologize for that. I'm talking too much, and I haven't had an appropriate breakfast yet, but I'm going to as soon as this game's over.
Dire's top tower has
Yeah, I think my voice has been cracking, and it's not because I'm like angry or anything. I'm not very good at voice imitations when my voice is just, my throat is dry. That's all. I'm not exactly teeming with energy. At any rate, the difference in experience turn is over 30,000, I mean, and then gold earned over 15,000, or just slightly over 15,000. Anyway, check out. We got a hard on Spectre, which combos nicely with the dispersion. So it's kind of like dispersion's kind of like think of it as a free blade mail, but it's like a passive version of it. But it doesn't do 100%. But because it's passive, it's pretty nice anyway. Now, one thing people don't realize is that it's actually kind of okay for there to be 2 Radiants on a team. Particularly if one of the bearers is quite mobile, like Spectre. Not that I'm saying that it's particularly ideal for her to get it, although it's obviously working just fine against these guys. A lot of it might just be because we're killing them so many times, and we can't seem to get enough durability built up. I mean, this guy doesn't even have 1,000 health. He's level 14. That's pretty bad.
come to heal. You did your best.
Yeah, Enchantress is so nice sometimes. You did your best. Apparently it wasn't good enough. And you know why? Oh, because the team failed me. It was the team's fault. She should say that to Troll Warlord. Yeah. That would be cool. Well, she said it to Slark. So at this point, I've actually got 2 Hyperstones. So I was probably like attacking her, and she's like, I'm not gonna let you kill me, punk. And then I was like, you know what? I guess plus 110 attack speed is just not enough. Okay, let's buy up some gloves of haste too. Darn it, we don't have inventory space. We're gonna have to turn these Hyperstones into Mjolnirs, guys. This is like one of the weirdest, funkiest builds I've ever done. But I've seen other people do stuff like this, and so I figured I'd give it a try. Because I figured, you know, I don't got anything to lose. Like, you know, our Spectre and Omniknight are ponying, and I'm supporting. I can buy anything I want. So I'll just buy whatever. I mean, I'm a flash farmer. I'm like Shadow Fiends, kind of. Like, you might crush them, but then you'll show up with like a ton of items, and you're like, ah, where do you find the time to farm up all that? Well, he doesn't need very much time. He'll farm it up really fast, and right before your eyes, he'll be like, bam, got a lot of gold. Just keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to just pick a hero that can farm up, because these are some of the best heroes in the game. Yeah. Although they tend to not have very reliable disables if they're like that. I think Morphling is kind of one of them too with his waveform, although not so much until he gets like Lincoln Spear. That actually is kind of a liability for him. Like, that by no means makes Lincoln Spear a bad item. It just means that it's expensive, and so it takes a little while before Morphling's flash farming really comes online, is all I'm trying to say. But yeah, Slark's flash farming comes online like right away. That's why I think he's a lot better than Morphling. Well, you just need 4 levels of Dark Pack, basically, and like 1 level of Pounce, and you're good to go. Oh, and 1 level of your ultimate, obviously. So at this point, I want to initiate on people, but I kind of know better because I know their allies gotta be nearby and they're gonna jump on me. So I'm just taking creeps at this point. And he 4 steps away before I can kill him, but he still dies.
I'll do better next time.
And by now, Omniknight is still not died. He's reached godlike status. And now he has an Abyssal Blade, for crying out loud. So let's see if they can kill him now. And as he says it all, chat, got the Abyssal Blade for Troll Warlord.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Because after all, Troll Warlord's ultimate is more powerful than Omniknight's ultimate. That's why with Omniknight, you gotta get a Refresher Orb or an Abyssal Blade or whatever to counter that. Abyssal Blade is seriously underestimated. I've even had to get it on Crystal Maiden. I should probably buy it on her more often, actually. I won a game recently with Vengeful Spirit with an Abyssal Blade. Sometimes you just need that hard disable, just that pure stun, just to take people out. Sure, you could get the Scythe of Ice, but that just doesn't add the same amount of damage that an Abyssal Blade does. And you really need damage sometimes. Like, I get Orchid because it's awesome on her, gives her tons of damage, but it doesn't have that hard disable, and an Abyssal Blade does have it. So I mean, yeah, you can win a game with a ranged hero even having an Abyssal Blade. And if you're a melee strength, it gives you like some bonus strength when you buy it. It's like +4 strength, so why not buy it? We got +10 strength, and the 6 was how much you bought. So you get 4 strength for free, because from the belt of strength, right? Solid item. People think it's no good, and they're totally wrong. Sure, it's expensive, but it's worth it. Just stop dying and you'll afford it in no time. Wow, look at this. The Ancients are under attack and Spectre is still buying stuff. So is Omniknight. He's got a Divine Rapier. He just walked to the shop and bought it. Spectre bought one too. Spectre called me a jerk. I don't know why though. Well, he called Omni a jerk for muting him. But what? So I was a jerk because I never communicated? It wasn't my fault. I was globally muted. But anyway, yeah, that's carrying with Omniknight. So he might not be a very good Omniknight, but still, at least he wasn't downright awful. Sure, he was a jerk, but at least he knew how to carry it with the guy, and it works. Obviously, it worked against these guys. Now, their carry, her ultimate, was basically useless against Omniknight's repel. Now, if that was something like Doombringer, maybe, it might have been a little bit of a different story, but not too much so. Of course, he would be doomed by Doom. But if he doomed somebody else, his repel would defend. But in that case, he would actually be a support. So you would pick Omniknight as a support against Doom, and that's understandable. But against Enchantress, why not run him as the carry? It just makes perfect sense to me. And my phone rings, so I'm just gonna have to cut this short. Not that it was short anyway, but I mean... And this, and I've pretty much already said everything anyway, so whatever. I hope you enjoy the next installment of this Unappreciated Heroes of Dota, and until next time, enjoy the rest of my